Well, hello and welcome back to All My Art and Soul. I'm Michelle Holden, and this week is really exploring with color, using it for a first layer. So that's why I've called it How to Start an Art Journal or an Abstract Art Journaling Page with Color. And if you're here for the first time, welcome. And if you're liking this content, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel because I really want to grow this channel. Oh, didn't those collage papers look bright? So as you can see, I love notes and I need them just to remind me if I set up my stuff and it was late last night and I really wanted to get it done, but didn't, and did it today. And I'm glad I waited because clarity. It was just, I wanted to do something new. And as you can see, I will have little notes in the video so you can write them down and experiment with the combination and the types of layers that you want to try. Of course, there's nothing better if you haven't tried this before than to just borrow my format and then move on from there. It's a great benchmark. I've done the same with my wonderful mentor artists that I love. And I'm always careful, of course, um, not to copy, but when you're learning, this is how we learn, and that's okay. So here we go. Second layer is the Caran d'Ache Neo Color, and they're called, oh, I thought I had them right here. I moved them. Oh, here they are. They are called the Neo Color water soluble water wax pastels, they're called. And most art stores have them, and you can get them in much larger color selections than this one. They're not cheap. They're not expensive, but they're not cheap, and they're a wonderful product. Also, you can see the ink tints. Those are also water soluble pencils, and a lot more intense than the Neo Color. And I'm just experimenting still with, okay, initially, I know I want marks. I really love the graphite, so I think I'm going to stay with that as a start, of course. And of course, charcoal. I'll be doing, I think I'll do that one next week. Mixed with acrylic, it's incredible. The different shades, but you're going to get the muddy stuff going on. And I love it because it is, how do you say, less in intensity in color. And I know there's a better way of saying it, but I'll think of that in later on in the video. So I'm loving that gray area, and I didn't want it to smudge again if I'm going to add paint. So that's why I put a very thin layer with my color shaper of the medium over it, so it stays intact. So now I bought some acrylic inks, as I've said in a few previous videos. And I know the yellow would have just been so crazy intense. I really love these inks. They have a large selection of colors. I think I want to tone down the intensity of the color and get more of colors and get a little more, what would you say, natural blue, etc. Maybe I need an ochre, and I know I have those in the previous inks that I've used, and they're getting older. But I love this idea, and like I said, it's explore, play, and discover, and I'm making sure I do that. So as you can see, the lines, I think next time I might just leave those and let them dry. I didn't know how much ink would have been absorbed, but it depends on the paper you're using. This is a newsprint. It's it absorbs a lot of liquid. You notice I stay away from that word, right? Okay. Don't know why, but I'll have to work on that. But I have 1,000 other things to do. Anyway, so I cut out some of the drawing, but I thought, well, we can talk about things while we're watching it. I'm loving the subtlety, and I love the muddiness, that blue, that magenta, quinacridone magenta. And that's just a light blue. As you could see, I wanted the teal, but it wouldn't come out. So I just grabbed the light blue, and these are the fluids from Liquitex. So my intention for this video to demonstrate to you was this particular combination. And I thought, well, what if, and trying to always ask during this series of videos, explore, play, and discover, what if I did this? What would happen if I did this? So these are really extreme bright colors, but I thought, I know that I'm covering them up. You come in knowing that you're covering up these colors. So I think and I'm adding black to that, which makes this really interesting greenishy yellow. And I thought, wow, it's so cool. While you're mixing and just playing, this is where I learn the most about mixing colors, because I'm doing it in a fun, non-thinking way. I'm doing it just in a playful way, a non-serious way. And I love the feeling of this. This whole page took just under an hour. And of course, it's only 29 minutes because I've sped it 2 times the speed and slowed down. I was going to slow down different parts, but I thought, I'll just keep on letting you know. And I think the speed is nice. It is a little fast for when you're first learning, but overall, you can stop it. You can, use it. Now, see that shape? For some reason, I wanted that shape maintained because it had that graphite in there. So next time, the next video, I'm going to start the same kind of way. And I think I'm even going to use the exact same sequence of layering, but I'm going to use, what do you call it? Less intense colors, like ochres, earth tones. That's what I want. And cadmiums or alizarin crimson, because the magenta is a really cool. So I'm going to use warmer colors, and we'll see what happens. So now here comes the shapes, and I put the words down there so you can just jot them down, follow the order, change up the order, and here's the teal that I wanted. But obviously I'm running low, but I do have a large tube that I can thin down, and so I just used the fluid Liquitex blue. It was similar. I would have loved that teal though. So then coming in, okay, so then I want some blue there, but I really want, what if I added a little more magenta, some black? You see how it darkened the value? Now I'm playing with some midtones to darker tones. And the other intention is horizontal. I know I want to, for some reason, at this point in my painting process, I'm using and needing horizontal. And for my abstract landscapes that I'm starting next, I think there's another little series that I wanted to finish that I started with you in a video with those 8 by 10s on the board with images. I think I might do that. But anyway, back to this one. Now, you see, I thought, okay, I need my darks. I need some lights. I don't know what they're going to be, but I want to just use the colors on my palette. And of course, I'm choosing a primary and a secondary. So now, this is where I start, okay, reminding myself, using the brayer to lift and carry some color horizontally. I'm just playing. I love those mauves. Wow. I can always tell I've had some fun and like the colors when I can say that in my own pages when I'm doing the narration. So that is like a dark gray blue, and that's just with black. So don't forget to experiment with adding different amounts of black. You can even add white and then add a little tiny bit of black, because it takes away that fresh from the tube feel, and it unifies your colors. So you're adding a little bit of black to most of them or all of them. So as you can see, that wasn't really showing up a lot. Then I just tried some blue and it just, you know. So I'm just playing, okay, what kind of marks? I know I want some marks. And going fast with the mark making isn't going to cut it. There has to be you use your left hand, or there has to be a character in the mark. So zipping fast isn't going to do it. So now I know I want pattern. This is my favorite, and I love using this in the lower left or right quadrant. And as you can see, the quadrants are going to start developing on their own as I'm putting different things by responding to what's there, not going over and pushing it. And I know you could do that too. You can go, well, I want to change that to white. I could have, it would have been awesome, and then carved away some of the white paint and showed the yellow underneath. So now light over dark values are always really awesome. The one thing I do not regret not remembering is carving a line through it. And then as I was doing that, I did realize, no, I don't want to go right across because that would be too much the same. So alternating distances across and thicknesses and widths of your area. See how the top is the widest, that yellow-orange, and then the 4. So you could almost count that as 1, maybe 2. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. So here comes some white because I just know this is more, no, oh, you can see my wire. Making sure my phone doesn't go out. I've been using my phone lately, not my Osmo Pocket. There's just so much downloading and edit. Oh, I couldn't take it anymore. Anyway, it's a great device, but wow. All right, so now we have a gray mauve. And I don't know, I just felt like putting some down there, but different, narrow, shorter. This color shaper is really cool. See, now I'm being too careful. I should have kept the blue, I could have kept the blue pure and continued or met up with that line, but not in so exact rectilinear forms. I like it looser. So I'm going to make sure I use maybe a smaller brush. And you might want to change your tools just so the application of each section has a different feel. So you see, when I add those darks, it just makes those lights pop. Now, putting darks in certain areas, but I didn't want to cover those gorgeous red diamond shape pattern. So just showing you complementary with the purple, mauve, violet, and that's why I'm choosing the ochre. I just love ochre in these. But in its purer form, I just added a little bit of that gray, which is not really like the mother color, but it is the mother neutral color. And just going back over that blue, I'm liking that much better. Just adjusting some values here, and now some shapes appear, or horizontal areas, if you will. And I thought, wow, I'm going to take that right across. Now let's see if I carve out some. It's okay. But I like how I left that little piece of orange on the left, going down. So that oval shape, and then I'm coming in here darker. Why it works, I believe, is because below is the purple down at the bottom. And I didn't want to go too orange, and then now diagonally across, I'm adding that color. So it's opposites in location, quadrants, etc. And notice each quadrant is a little different. And now when you do some lifting, it creates a really nice, now I'll have that page will become a piece of collage paper, and you should see it. It's just totally full because I rolled my brayer and all the leftover paint on my palette and just rolled it on there. And I rolled it across that palette paper, so I have a palette paper collage and a newsprint collage. This collage is made on manila paper, not newsprint, because it's dense, it's very thick. And I've been tearing it out just because, well, I'm not really using it. And I love the blanket stitch through that manila paper. If interested in any books or other forms using the abstract, let me know if you'd like me to show you. Now, this little piece, which I'm going to use those colorful inks because I'm experimenting with vertical, something a little different. It's not working though. No, it doesn't go there. Watch. Where does it go? If you love to do that, I do, especially when I'm watching other artists just to brush up my composition skills. Nope, that piece isn't going to work. But what works is, ta-da! And I don't even like it there. I even lower it a little. And this coffee filter collage paper, that's done just with watered down acrylic paint. I'm going to try the inks, definitely more intense, but isn't that great? Playing with saturated and highly saturated and lower saturated colors together. Oh, love that. Look at that pink. And I'm not a pink person, but wow, it just happened today. Totally unplanned. See, I put the skinnier piece. Nope, nope, not gonna work, not gonna work. No, I don't want it there. And then I found this crazy piece. So intense, playing with saturation again. So loving that, not trying to overthink. And then I wanted the edge sharp because I know I'm going to peel the tape off right there. And that, no, it's too much like, it's too decorative. And that's what I find I tend to go for. If I see the pink and blue, then I get super feminine and no, that's not what this piece is about. Anyway, that's not the feeling. And I like how I went a little higher and left a peak of that black go through. Then there's this little piece. I thought, oh yeah, right there. Perfect, but not all of it. So I'm using the heavy gloss medium. You don't need to, especially for this lightweight tissue paper. But I just wanted some line, and I just love watching that tissue paper. That's just with acrylic paint, black, watered down a little bit, and the fan brush. You know what those fan brushes are. They're coarse. I don't know what the proper name is. I'm not going to worry about it. So now, why I changed the size is that those two are really too close in size. So I really scale that down and make it more horizontal. But as you see, I pointed to that blue. I wanted some blue echoing in there. So you can change that with glazing. And that's another thing. I haven't done glazing here. Wow, this piece is so cool. Oh, it's so nice to do something different. Oh, and I forgot to say more marks or line. And you know why I wiped that? Because I didn't wait until it to dry. So I hope it didn't ruin my marker. But you could spray it with alcohol and rub it off and save it. I've done that a couple times. And here comes a pink intensity. I still need to work on the different types of gestural marks that I want to make that have a certain feel. Playing around with these circles, I think I have enough pattern already, and I don't want that that's better. I didn't want that, what's the word, you know, jostling against it. I want this just to be a little smaller in scale, and adding the black up there. And of course, my next series is I'm going to be just moving away from. I love my cosmos in my art journaling pages, as you can see. But I have some other ideas, and I think I want to do something different. So that's coming up in a series of minis, cards, but I'm going to be creating 4 to 6 to 9 all at the same time. So it's a real boost in your productivity. Maybe not all of them will turn out, but maybe they will, at least most of them. And you see what I did to the edge? It just needed that carrying down, filling in that whole area. But you have a sharp edge, then you have a very loose edge. And what I do is, see, it's too bright. I wanted to echo some of that magenta in there. Interesting. Lifting some of that up always creates a wonderful, very good physical texture. And so how do you like to cut your collages? Do you tear, or do you cut, or you do both? I would love to know in the comments. And you see what I'm doing? That bringing all those colors from below, but in a swoosh of paint. And my favorite combo, and that's what's going to be in these, is the blue, the ochre, and the magenta. And notice this piece of solid black, which is opposite of above, but it's thin. That one's big. And I did the blue. I just spontaneously, and that's okay, but I end up just toning that down a little bit because your eye does get a little stuck there. Not long, but a little bit. And then I'm just needing a little more intense pink. As you can see, diagonally to the left lower is the intense pink square. So everything's relating to each other. And needing to dry these layers. And as I'm drawing, I usually do my last minute look over. Anything sticking out? Does it need one more line? Does it need another accent? That kind of a thing. So, okay. Oh, yes. So getting ready for, and then while I was getting ready for that, I thought, you know what? Those in white, my favorite dots. Stencil girl. Oh, yeah. Why not add a little bit more? But notice it's just a subtle difference, but it's just enough. And it creates an overlapping, so then that accentuates all those multiple layers. And you can see those lines in that orange square in the upper left-hand quadrant? You can see initial marks from the very first layer. That's what I'm trying to do. Oh, it's been a long road, but I love it. See, and then I went, oh no, too opaque, too intense. So what I do is I wet it, and that color shaper can lift it right off, but it needs a little bit more lifting. A little too much blue there. Let's see, do I wipe some of it away? Yes, just enough. Yeah, that's not bad. In retrospect, though, I think I would have left that and not added the blue. I don't know what I would have added instead. Don't know. And I chose white and black this time because I know the pink in the light area in the lower left-hand quadrant would look really cool just with a little splash of black dots. Or a splash, whatever you want to call those things. It's a texture. And just a last minute check to see if any other collage pieces, so do they add or do they distract? If they distract, it means it's done. There's nothing more to say. I'm saying it all except for that. Yes, I love it. Could have been a circle, but this page wasn't about circles as much as it's rectilinear. See, I love it, love it, love it. Now I think the placement of that would have, and you could darken it. I could even add a little more black to it just to push it back a little bit more, which I can do right here. I think I will. And I love having it right beside me while I'm talking about it. And I did add one more thing. At the very bottom, I think I show it. Anyway, it's pink, but it has some fine writing on it. And it's just a little bit of writing in the very bottom left-hand corner that matches the pink above. And I forgot to say that I added some pastel. I'm ordering some Sakura soft pastels from Amazon. And notice that blue? Too intense. Way too intense. Yeah, I should have went more pink. But there's one more thing that I do, and I obliterate that blue square because it's fighting the other one. So I thought, well, since there's black below there, see, that's almost better. You can tell right away. As soon as I take that blue away, it calms it down. So then I thought, okay, well, let's just make that a little bit better, wider, which does help. And then I'm just trying to get close to the value. And I should have come even, that's too close. I should have went a little lighter, and I can do that as well. So this page has been, and see at the end, now that we'll call it a flashlight. If it sticks out and your eye focuses on it, needs to go, even if you like it. Yes, so this was a very, very fun page. I'm so glad. Even though I'm doing my larger paintings, I'm trying to treat these in the same way. It's just a different ratio, a large canvas, even tilting it, doing all sorts of things to it. And looking at it now, I can see that gray, which was the very first layers, are showing through. So I'm getting closer to my layering feeling. Wow, there's so much going on this page. It's such a small page, there's so much going on. So again, it's 8 by 10, and it's a 9 by 12 Canson. And these pages are 140. It's the watercolor, which is way better than the mixed media. And I hope you go and try it. Follow those sequence of layers for yourself. And start with a bright color, because that's why I called it How to Start a Journaling Page with Bright Colors, or color. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video.